Right now, at 6, day 2 of demolition at the historic Centennial Mills, prompting excitement from neighbors and memories from former mill workers.
A lot of memories, seeing things as I see things as they used to be.
Plus, we're looking ahead to the next chapter at this Longview paper mill as a tank that ruptured and killed 11 workers is finally removed. Then,
I don't know what to do. I don't know where to turn, who to turn to. I'm just stranded.
Why a woman waiting nearly a year for housing help is now facing eviction.
And what Oregon scientists have learned about climate change from studying an ocean current.
It's one of the most important currents of the global ocean.
Then later, a new era for the green and gold, the message from the new head coach to the Timbers Army.
They should know from day one we're going to give our best.
Piece by piece in chunks big and small, the walls of the century-old Centennial Mills building in Northwest Portland started tumbling down this morning, and now, well, it's looking like this.
Yeah, some progress. In an update, the city says the initial demolition is nearly complete, well ahead of schedule, and rail traffic through that area, including Amtrak, can now resume. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich.
And I'm David Molko. A lot of good news to get tonight. Let's get right to Harley Coldiron live in the Pearl. So Harley, curious to know how neighbors are feeling about all of this.
Hey, Christine and David, neighbors are very excited, especially with this new information that we just learned, because where you could once see the Centennial Mills building behind me, now sits nothing, an empty skyline. The city said that all that's left of this building is rubble 2 weeks ahead of schedule. We also just learned railroads can now resume, and this road closure with all the caution tape along with Fields Park, now the city is going to reevaluate that in a few days.
A lot of memories, seeing things as I see things as they used to be.
The demolition of the Centennial Mills building is bittersweet for Daryl Watkins.
Then I would go down, get everything running, and then go down and open up specific bins to make specific types of flour for different bakeries that we had contracts with.
Day after day, for over a decade, he worked at the mill, mixing flour and making various creations.
I can remember there's that brand new fire escape when that got put on about 5 years before it shut down.
But in just a short 24 hours, the building has gone from standing tall to losing a water tower. And now nearly the entire top half of the building is gone.
There were a lot of people going in and out of that building, and it was not safe, and it's good to see it come down.
KGW live streaming the demolition all day as crews with a Eugene-based contractor used a high-reach excavator to tear down walls, all while spraying it down with water to avoid dust, debris, and asbestos flying everywhere.
You see how much the walls shake. It looks like a good stiff wind would take it down at this point.
Throughout the day, we caught shocking video showing the 116-year-old walls swaying back and forth. While the controlled detonation was largely successful, KGW obtained several images of shattered windows from a nearby building. In one case, chunks of glass even flew across the condo. The city said the contractor hoped to have the building at half its height in 2 weeks, but this video shows they may be well ahead of schedule.
And I expected there'd be a bit of a delay, but I'm really shocked to see them going at it.
Now, a question we keep getting from neighbors, what about that possible asbestos? Well, the city tells me all day crews have been working to keep dust and debris out of the river and also reduce erosion. Now, if asbestos is found, the Oregon DEQ will be contacted immediately and get out here to make sure it's disposed of properly. Christine, David.
Appreciate the update. Glad it is ahead of schedule. Harley Coldiron reporting. Thank you, Harley. In your headlines, detectives in Beaverton believe the bodies of 2 men missing for nearly a year have been found in Tillamook County. Investigators say 67-year-old Eddie Hare and 68-year-old Scott Smith were close friends, believed to be headed out on a camping trip last September when they initially disappeared. Then on Friday, loggers working in the Jones Creek area off Highway 6 found skeletal remains inside a red Jeep Wrangler, which matched the description of their car. The Wrangler had rolled down a steep hillside.
Another update for you. Portland police say a 16-year-old from Vancouver died and another teenager was hurt when they tried to jump off a moving train. This was near the railroad bridge in St. John's just before 9 Monday night. Police say it appears the teens climbed onto the train that was stopped on the Vancouver side of the Columbia. Their names have not yet been released.
Authorities have canceled an Amber Alert after an infant was found safe, but the search for his father, picture there on your screen, who allegedly took the baby in Vancouver without permission, is ongoing. Deputies in Clark County are looking for 37-year-old Raul Martinez. Investigators say Martinez gave the baby to someone else, then took off. The infant appears to be unhurt. Now, if you see Martinez, call 911.
To a quick check of your wallet now, with gas prices in the Northwest once again climbing. AAA says Oregon's average is now $4.72 a gallon. It's up 5 cents this week. Washington, you're even higher at $5.20. That is number 3 in the country. Oregon, by the way, number 6. AAA pointing to elevated crude prices as the Strait of Hormuz remains closed.
And some major service changes coming to TriMet this weekend as part of the agency's work to close its budget deficit. Starting Sunday, TriMet is adjusting service on 34 lines and eliminating 2 lines due to low ridership. We're talking about Line 76 between Legacy Meridian Park Hospital and the Oregon City Transit Center, as well as Line 82 in South Gresham. The Max Green line will also be shortened to run only between Clackamas Town Center and the Gateway Transit Center. Matt, what are you tracking?
You know, it's been a little bit hazy today, but our air quality remains really good and the temperatures are pleasant and there's plenty of sunshine, so not a lot to complain about. 84 degrees right now in Portland. That is our high temperature for the day. Meanwhile, out in the gorge, this is our camera in the Dalles on the Oregon Veterans Home. A little hazier there. If I were to pan this camera off to the left, you'd see more smoke from the Grasshopper fire, but the wind is up 30 miles an hour, and for that reason, we still have red flag warnings for fire weather conditions until 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Also, air quality alerts parts of Hood River and Wasco counties because of the smoke that you're seeing there, but no advisories or warnings west of the crest of the Cascades, and this extends until 10 o'clock tonight out towards Pendleton. Now tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high about 81. More great weather on the way, guys.
All right, Matt, appreciate that.
In Longview, crews are beginning to dismantle the chemical tank that ruptured at the Nippon Dynawave paper mill back in May, killing 11 workers and injuring several others.
And as Devin Haskins reports, it's the next step toward a potential reopening.
The work being done this week is all in an effort to reopen the plant eventually. We learned this week that the state of Washington has issued a permit for the company to tear down that one tank, but also install 2 temporary tanks here on site.
A memorial outside the front gates of the Nippon Dynawave plant remembers the 11 workers who lost their lives on the morning of May 26th. Inside the gates, work has now begun to dismantle 3 out-of-service tanks, including the tank that catastrophically failed, causing hundreds of thousands of gallons of a caustic chemical, white liquor, to spill out. According to a permit issued on August 17th by the Washington State Department of Ecology, Nippon Dynawave plans to install 2 temporary bulk liquor storage tanks to prepare for a future mill startup. The mill has been closed down since the incident. Each tank would hold a different liquid in the paper pulp process. One would hold white liquor that would hold about 650,000 gallons, the other for black liquor that will hold 450,000 gallons. The permit filing says the tanks will be used for up to 3 months. Each tank will have safety measures in place to contain any spills and be inspected daily. For more than a month after the fatal tank failure, several state agencies remained on site to monitor the cleanup efforts and mitigate any ecological risks. Labor and Industries has an ongoing investigation into the incident, and according to an article in the Seattle Times, this work will not have an impact on that investigation. The union representing some of the workers of the plant says the work being done is encouraging. A representative for the union, Joshua Estes, wrote to KGW in an email saying, "It demonstrates tangible progress toward a potential restart and gives us reason for cautious optimism." He went on to say, however, it would be premature to treat this alone as a guarantee that the plant will restart or as a complete answer about its long-term future.
Nippon Dynawave says this work should take a matter of weeks, but didn't elaborate on a timeline on how long it would take to fully reopen the plant. In Longview, I'm Devin Haskins, KGW News.
New this evening, a suspect is now facing charges in connection with the burglary of late NASCAR champion Greg Biffle's home.
Biffle grew up in Camas and got his start racing here in the Pacific Northwest. North Carolina investigators, though, say 44-year-old Terrell Williams broke into Biffle's home in January, just weeks after Biffle and his family were killed in a plane crash. Deputies say cash, guns, NASCAR memorabilia that was stolen. Investigators eventually connected Williams to the case after he was arrested in Georgia in another burglary. Some of Biffle's stolen NASCAR memorabilia was found there.
This person's method of the way he operated and what we're seeing is basically he used headlines, social media posts, different things to find out when people were or were not at home. And he executed his plan in that capacity.
Investigators say Williams has been linked to multiple break-ins across the country. He's currently in jail in Georgia.